fool him. Because if there's one thing he loves is meat, especially juicy steaks. At the same time, I have no idea what will happen to me in the end. But I thought this would be a good experiment to see if we can fool somebody to eating a vegan steak. And if my nephew can eat it, anyone can. So let's begin. Now to make a homemade vegan steak, it's very easy. And here's how. Into a food processor, you throw in some chickpeas, followed by tomato paste, some Vita wheat, Dijon mustard, garlic powder, soy sauce, black pepper, vegetable stock, salt, close it up, and process everything on high. Because as you're doing so, it's gonna become a dough. Now you wanna go ahead and shape it up as best as you can to look like a steak. And as you can see, the end color is not red. But we can fix that real quick. Into a bowl, I added some soy sauce, followed by some maple syrup, smoked paprika, and mixed everything together. As now, all there's left to do is to paint over the steak. Then you wanna bake it in the oven, and you are left with a vegan steak. And as you can clearly see, it is very noticeable that this does not look like a steak. And if I know my nephew, he will spot this from a mile away. So you got me thinking, how else can I fool him? And that's when I saw this on my supermarket. Beyond Beef. Now notice the ingredients on the back. Pea protein. I'm pretty sure they're using chickpeas. And honestly, even though this does not smell like meat, at least it looks like meat. And hopefully, it's gonna make a great steak for my nephew to try. But just having this by itself next to a regular steak is not gonna work. So here's what I came up with. The first thing to do was to go ahead and shape the Beyond Meat. Make it look like a New York strip as much as I could. Once I was done, this is what it looks like. It is now ready to go. But as you can see here, this is what real meat looks like. Perfectly well marbled and just perfect beautiful steaks. And putting all of them side by side, you can clearly see that there's a huge difference. So let's fix this. I grabbed one steak and went ahead and passed it to the meat grinder. As you can see, once everything was ground up, this is what I was left with. Then I went ahead and shaped it up like a New York strip. And in the end, I was left with this. Kind of like a meatloaf steak. Hopefully, he's not gonna get that suspicious. Because now, to get these steaks ready, the only thing left to do is to season them. For that, I went with a good amount of salt, followed by freshly ground black pepper and garlic powder. And I made sure to season the steaks properly. And just in case he's gonna get really upset, I went ahead and made an incredible side dish for us today. These are some meatballs dumpling. Not only are they extremely delicious, they are super simple to make. And here's how. Into a food processor, I threw in some parsley, followed by white onions, garlic, jalapeno, closed it up, blend everything on high. I added some ricotta cheese, followed by a good amount of ground beef, a little bit of salt, black pepper, and Korean chili flakes. Blend everything once again, and my meat was now ready. The only thing left was to put it together. And for that, I'm using old-fashioned dumplings. Shape them however you like. The best way for me is to leave a little bit of the meat exposed. You can see here, once I was done, this is what they look like. Now you need a little sauce to cook the dumplings. And this one is super simple. Into a skillet, I added some oil, followed by garlic and shallots. Cooked it up until I got a little bit of color. Then I added some marinara sauce. As soon as it brought up to temperature, I added chicken stock. Mixed everything well and threw it right on top of the dumplings. Then into the oven it goes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 35 minutes. Once the time is up, I took it out, added a little bit of sour cream right on top, followed by parsley. Now this is today's side dish. And I know my nephew is gonna love this one, as it is real meat. But we cannot say the same thing about the vegan steak. With that being said, the only thing left to do is to go ahead and cook them. So to keep things fair, I'll be pan-searing the vegan steak and the ground beef one. To add additional flavor, I will do so using butter. And of course, garlic. As the control steak is just gonna be straight up on the grill. Because now I say, it is enough talking and it is time to see if I can make my nephew eat this vegan steak. So let's do it.